Good afternoon, welcome to today's vlog, Friday the 5th of December. Hope everybody is good. You just joined me on the last bit of my second job and final job of the day, but I'll come back to that. I had a message last night from Stephen. Thank you for that, Stephen. Hope you're well. Asking me about shippers, 45 days, 60 days. Now, still got the cough. My previous batch of 50 videos, I never actually gave them any titles, and I did do a bit on it in one of those, but I don't expect you to sift your way through 50 odd videos. When I started 2 years and 1 month ago, I worked for anybody. Didn't really matter. If the job suited and I got the right price for the job, I would do that job. 6 months in, I started to learn, like we all do. Few people were paying late, and 90% of those were shippers on terms of 45 days. And I made a decision that I was going to not work for those shippers of 45 days and 60 days. My first year, I had 4 companies knock me. The smallest amount was, I think, 60 quid, £50 plus VAT. And the biggest job, I think, was £100 plus VAT. It's obviously disappointing, but it's no great shakes, because it then gets re-entered back into the books as expenditure. It's just your time and fuel and that you've lost. But all those 4 shippers were, again, 45-day merchants. So that made my mind up. Now, like everything, there are some exceptions. There's a local-based shipper in Essex that I do some work for, and he was the guy that rang me on Wednesday night to do the job yesterday to the Royal Albert Hall. He is 45 days, but I don't get any problems with him, so I still work with him. There is another shipper I will work with, and I'm not going to name them, obviously it's not fair to them or to anybody else. I will work with, but there is a but. When I bid on their jobs now, if it's a small van job, I will stick an extra £10 above what I would like to get. If it's a medium, £15, and if it's a large van, £20. And the reason for that is I use the Smart Pay facility and then get paid within the hour. Now, obviously, you lose a percentage, and it might be a few pounds either way. I've done it twice. But obviously, if I've put the extra money on, the shipper's given me the job, then I don't really think I'm actually losing out. And obviously the Smart Pay facility within an hour does work, and on both occasions the money has appeared in my account an hour later. As for 60 days, I won't work apart from one company, and that has to be relative to the time of the month. So a great example is I did a job for them on Tuesday this week. Payment terms are 60 days from the date of invoice. They do pay 60 days from the date of invoice. So therefore, because I did that job on the 2nd of December, they're going to pay me on the 2nd of February. Now, if I did the job for a 30 days end of month, I'm going to get paid on the 31st of January. I can wait 2 days, 3 days. I'll probably wait up to 5 or 6, 7 days, but no longer. So if you're 60 days and it's, say, on the 25th of November, and I'm not going to get paid until 25th of January, it isn't going to work. And that's how I do it. Everybody else, 30 days merchants are fine. I thought at first it would be a negative move, because I thought maybe I'm going to cut out the option to work with several shippers, reducing my work availability. But I actually think it's worked the other way, because I tend now to work with shippers a bit more, if that makes sense. So perhaps if I do some, say, 3 jobs a month for somebody, I might now be doing 6. And because I think I do a good job, and we spoke about feedback yesterday, these shippers are happy to give me the work. So I don't think it had a detrimental experience on the business. That's how I looked at it anyway. Oh dear, I really must get rid of this cough in due course. So yeah, to answer your question, Don't work with them, apart from those odd exceptions. I hope that all sort of makes a little bit of sense. So if anybody's got any questions they want to ask, absolutely feel free. Drop something in the comments, and I'll give you my thought or my opinion on it. Sorry, I've just got to lean forward because I'm at a blind junction. So let me just, I can't see. Right, yes, anyway, right, on to the day. Done 2 jobs today. I won a job yesterday afternoon from Colchester for 8 o'clock this morning, going to Haverhill. Haverhill is, and again, I've forgotten to write this down today, but I think it's about 35 miles, something like that. It was a large van job, although it was just 1 pallet, but the customer requested a large van. I quoted £60, I got £60 for that. So reasonable start to the day, and I'm thinking, okay, that puts me in a fairly decent area. I quite like Haverhill. There's quite a few businesses around there that use vans and shippers that have work coming out of that area. So I did that job this morning. I know the company that I picked up from doesn't open till 8 o'clock, so I didn't bother getting there too early. I think I got there about 10 to 8, and I was off site at 8:05. It was just 1 pallet in the end, so it was quite easy. Took just over an hour to get there. Had a bit of a problem finding it. It was a farm, business units on a farm, but struggled to find the farm because it wasn't very well signposted, but I worked it out eventually. So got that off. There was a job came up straight away in Haverhill, which was going to Brentwood. That was perfect, and I put a price on it of £70, and I got a phone call from the shipper, gave me the job, and almost 10 seconds, 20 seconds after he put the phone down, he rang me back and said they've just cancelled it. They may well have just cancelled it. I think it's more likely that it was a ship I hadn't worked before, probably someone else he's used before has come in with a slightly lower price. Can't prove that, and to be honest, not really bothered. It's his loss, because I would have done a good job for him, and I was literally 5 minutes from the pickup, so no worries. Stood around there for about 30 minutes looking for something else. There was a few jobs around, a couple of jobs in Bury St Edmunds, one going up to Peterborough, one going into Birmingham, which I didn't really fancy. I find Friday afternoons very quiet. It might just be me, it might be I've just lost interest at the end of the week, I don't know. And then a job which had been on the system for a while kept appearing, and that was from Colchester, going to Romford and back to Colchester, and it had a price of £120 on originally, and then it came reposted at 125, and I wasn't going to make the time slot, but I bid for it anyway, and I put on there, look, I'm empty in Haverhill, I'm 1 hour away, if it's of interest to you, give me a call. And they did. It's a ship I have worked with before, and they said, yep, just get there when you can. It's some insulation stuff that's got to go to a building site, and then you've got to pick up the same amount, but obviously they've got the wrong stock, and bring that back to Colchester. And that was then on a price of 125. So blimey. My thought process was, look, if I did a job for £60 somewhere, I'd be looking for a third job for, say, £60 again. And as I've mentioned, I think Friday afternoons can be a little bit quiet, or I certainly find them quiet. So I thought by doing that job, it's going to take me over target for the day firstly, which is good, and obviously then I'm going to be finished mid-afternoon in Colchester. The van is absolutely filthy. The footwell of my van is utterly disgusting, quite frankly. I've been to about 4 building sites this week, and they're not conducive, are they, for us clean living, tidy couriers. So the van needs a clean, the inside needs a clean, and I thought, you know what, let's go and get this done, and get the van clean, fill it up with fuel, and I'm ready to go on Monday. I already have a job for Monday. There's a company courier I've done a few jobs for, and they gave me a couple of jobs recently in the last 2 months, one a month I suppose. Goes from Braintree to Hereford. It's not a perfect location, but I like it because it's a really nice drive. I want a stress-free drive, and this may not be stress-free for some of you, but it works for me. From Braintree to Hereford, it's nice and simple. It's A120, M11, A14, M6, M42, M5, and then off on the A road to Hereford. Then when I get to Hereford, it's on this side of Hereford, the delivery, and literally 2 minutes from the drop-off point, there's a lovely big lay-by with a guy who's got a really nice food wagon, which works perfectly for my lunch. So I'm doing that on Monday. I always look for a job back or part back, but to be honest, I'm not too bothered. I'll just do that job and toodle back. Monday nights is now darts night, so I need to get back for that, although that's not till later in the evening. But that's me for Monday, so that's me done for the week. Today I did a £60 and a 125, total of 185, so that's just literally £10 above my target. So overall, pretty decent week, and I'll run through on Monday all my facts and figures for this week. Hope you had a good one. Hope you have a lovely weekend, whatever you're doing, and yeah, we'll talk again on Monday. All the best now. Cheers, Paul.